Welcome back. So today we're talking about something a little bit different. Sea Power just launched into early access the other day, and I've been playing around with it a decent bit. I think I have like 9.5-ish hours in it, which might sound like a lot, but I'm gonna upload some like Sea Power videos just raw. And you'll probably see pretty quickly that 9.5 hours really is not a whole lot because, well, I guess it depends on whether or not you're using the speed ups, but because it's more on the simulation side of games, things tend to take a long time to happen. So what is Sea Power? Basically, Sea Power is a naval RTS game that takes place during the Cold War. I'm pretty sure the mission editor runs up to like 1991. It's a pretty cool game. Like, just upfront basic review, if you don't want to stick around and hear the details. I don't think that you should get it right now. I think it's something that you should keep your eye on. It's got a lot of potential, it's very interesting, but it's very, very limited and very, very early access, in my opinion. I think given enough time, it has the potential to become incredible. I just don't think that it's there yet. So, let's get into, like, why I feel that way. So, the first day Sea Power was out, it was pretty rough. I think it's gotten better because they did patch it Wednesday morning, I believe, and that seems to have fixed a lot of the issues that I was having. So initially, day one, I tried a scenario that was recommended to me. I can't remember the name of it, but it's one of the one-star scenarios. I went into this without doing any of the tutorials or like reading the manual or anything like that. I just wanted to go and run, see if I could figure it out and see how it worked. And it was pretty easy to pick up pretty quickly, although the UI is a little bit technical, I guess. Basically, that scenario was 2 American destroyers and 2 American cruisers on the coast of North Vietnam, and your objective is to eliminate enemy like industry and supply concentrations along the coast. And while you're rolling in there, some like MiGs will show up, there's some patrol boats that you may encounter, and then there's some coastal AA and coastal anti-ship guns. And it's a pretty straightforward, pretty simple mission. You've got 2 Gearings, so they primarily have torpedoes and their 5-inch deck guns. And then you have 2 cruisers. They both are guided missile cruisers. One of them, per the description, is more there to provide like air defense for the area. But they do have missiles that can be fired at ships and at ground targets. But they also have deck guns. One of them has 3 152s, and the other one, I believe, has a 127 and a 76. So, the thing is, if you're going to make use of your deck guns, you have to get pretty close into the shore, which puts you well within the shore battery range. So, that's kind of that scenario, right? I'll come back to that in a second. So, some of the issues that I was having that have since been addressed as far as I can tell. Number one, formations didn't seem like they were working on the first day. So, you can have formations of ships and you can have formations of planes. Basically, they're grouped together, but they can still operate individually. So you can click on an individual ship and you can individually give it orders, or you can click on an individual plane and individually give it orders. On the first day, if I tried to give orders to a formation, they just wouldn't do them. And there are like some formation specific orders that you can right click on them and go to formation orders. but I'm talking about just issuing like an attack order on the formation and having them not do it. So I pretty much had to do everything with individual ships, which was fine, but sometimes, depending on what you're trying to do, it can be a little bit cumbersome. The other issue is some of the hotkeys would just stop working. So, for example, Tab and M both seem like they open and close your big map. Now, you have a small tactical map that you can, everything you can do on the big map, you can do on the small map, and you can resize it. So more often than not, I feel like I spend most of my time on like the third-person view working with the tactical map. But like the big strategic map, I would have to like manually close it. Like the hotkey would work to open it, but then it wouldn't work to close it. That seems to have been fixed. And then the third thing is I created my own scenario because I wanted to mess around. I need to go back in and try to run that same scenario and see if it works better now. But the first day, I basically created a scenario that was, what if the Libya crisis went hot? So I don't remember the exact day for it, and I didn't try to like one-to-one mirror reality. But what I wanted to create was a scenario where an American Marine task force was going to go fight in Libya. And when I was running it, it chugged pretty hard. Like, it did not like running it. The thing is, I made another scenario on Wednesday after this update that was in, like, the Iraq area, and it seems like it ran a lot better, and I feel like I had just as many, if not more, units and objects placed. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it ran flawlessly. Like, it still had its stutters and was slow at times, but for the most part, it did what I wanted it to, and it ran fairly well. So I want to go back and check on my Libya one and see if that, like, update fixed that. I suspect that it did. Just bear in mind that the bigger the scenario you run, the harder it's going to be for the game to operate. So, like, the pre-made scenario that I ran along the North Vietnamese coast, that ran fine, but that was a really, like, small scenario. When I ran my Libyan scenario, I had an American task force. We had 2 Marine expeditionary ships, like the Harrier helicopter carriers. We had 1 aircraft carrier. We had, I believe, 2 Ticonderogas, and then we had like 2 or 3 landing ships, and 3 Oliver Hazard Perrys, and I think 6 Sperances, and 1 Los Angeles. And then we had an air base in Sicily that had like 10 B-52s fly out of it, and supporting 2 flights of 5 F-4Es with a seed loadout. And then the Syrians had 5 troop concentrations, I think it was 5, and they were like 5 or 6 T-72s, like 4 ZSU-57s, and 2 SHORADs. I think they were either SA-6s or SA-8s. I did all, like, I know I had both SA-6s and SA-8s, I just don't remember how I distributed them. And then on top of that, there was a patrol boat base, refinery, some warehouses, fuel storage, an airfield, an army headquarters, and they had, like, a small coastal navy. So kind of a lot going on, but I basically wanted to simulate a regional conflict, so the goal for my side would have been to go in and eliminate their coastal navy, eliminate their coastal defenses, eliminate their industry and their ability to make war, and ultimately eliminate, capture, whatever, their army high command and their headquarters. And all this was centered around Tripoli.
Engaging track 7016.
So the next day, like I said, I ran another similar event. This was, I think, a bigger task force. So this was the Nimitz, again, 2 Marine expeditionary ships. I got rid of the landing ships because they don't do anything functional right now, and we'll get into that in a minute. there were, again, like 6 Spruances. This time there were 2 Ticonderogas and 2 Virginias. There was still a fleet sub. I also included the Iowa, and I think that was it for the fleet. I might have included the 3 Oliver Hazard Perrys again. And then this was into 3 separate, like, coastal fleet assets for the Iraqis. So they had, I separated them by their ship class. Realistically, I think I would have liked to have mixed them together, but I was trying to be kind of quick when I made the scenario. But I think they had 1 flight of OSA 2, or like 1 little flotilla of OSA 2s, 1 of OSAs, and then I think they had another one of some like torpedo boats. And they were hanging out kind of closer to the shore. Admittedly, when I created the scenario, I should have started the American fleet much closer to Iraq, but, you know, I didn't. I think they were like 150-ish miles southeast. And then on, like, mainland Iraq itself, there were like 4 or 5 concentrations of T-55s, or T-72s rather, and each set of T-72s had, like, I think either 2 SA-8s or 2 SA-6s. It depended, because I split them between the, like, 4 formations, and then they all had, like, a ZSU-57. I probably should have stuck in more, but I don't know. Like I said, I was just being quick, and I just wanted a little bit of variety in each thing. And then I placed down some industry and whatnot in an airfield. I did make sure that their airfield spawned a bunch of their planes in the air, but it did look like it launched more planes later. That was something I noticed in the Libyan one, that the planes that I spawned in the air seemed like they did their thing, but it didn't seem like it launched additional planes. In the Iraq scenario, it seems like they actually did launch additional planes. So, in playing through these 3 scenarios, what I kind of came to understand is that a lot of the orders that you can issue in the game, and a lot of the, like, sensor conditions, and just the way that your units act, feel very janky and very limited. And I think that part of it's an interface issue, part of it is this is very early access, and I'm not sure how advanced their AI is yet. But we'll use, like, F-14s for an example for this, right? When your F-14s take off, pretty much everything that I launch, at least in my experience, launches in MCON, and everything launches in weapons tight. So, what I want, for the most part, like, situationally, I can see why you would want to go into MCON, but for a fleet defense plane, ideally I want to launch it and have its radar on. The thing is, if I go and order the formation to all have their long-range air radar on, usually it just gives that to the lead plane. This is even after the update, so usually I have to go plane by plane by plane, right? And then if I send them to an area, they'll fly like a holding pattern there, and sometimes they'll engage targets, sometimes they won't. So if you want them to proactively engage stuff, you have to set them to weapons free. The problem is if you set them to weapons free, then they don't care about the area you told them to go to. So what I would like is either a drawing tool or just a pre-sized circle that I can put down and say, this is like the air defense zone. I want you to stay in this area and like kill anything hostile that comes into this area. Like just a basic hold ground order. And I don't know, I just putting them on weapons free, sometimes they'd fly all the way up to like Iraq, and then they'd start getting shot at by their air defense. Or if I didn't have them in weapons free, sometimes they would just putz about, and then like the MiGs that were coming in would just shoot them down. I don't know. The thing is, if you're running like a small scenario where you only have like 4 planes up, it's not a big deal to sit there and micromanage your planes and tell them, hey, I want you to shoot a Phoenix, or I want you to shoot an AIM-7, or whatever, right? The problem lies in when you're running these bigger theater campaigns where I want to be able to, like, launch. So, for example, right, I'd launch like 3 waves of 4 F-14s. One of them would have like a long range, one of them would have like a shorter range, and one of them would have like a standard loadout. Because you can pick a loadout. You can't choose like the individual weapons, but you can pick a loadout. So I could have the long range ones actually hanging out over the fleet. I could have the mid range ones ranging out a little bit, and then I could have the short range ones being my like proactive go out and engage things. Because they're all gonna at least carry AIM-7s. It's just like the quantity, and to be fair, it's like MiG-23s and Su-24s. More often than not, an AIM-7's going to be more than enough range to deal with them. But my point is, I'd like to be able to tell them to shoot down things that are coming in, and not have to like micromanage them, but at the same time, not have them fly after like an enemy plane that's 100 miles north of us. And right now, it doesn't seem, at least as far as I can tell, it doesn't seem like there's any sort of, like, in-between. It's either give them full autonomy and then they'll go and do whatever they want, or give them not full autonomy and then they might just get themselves shot down. The other thing when it comes to aircraft is they seem to have issues with attacking some ground targets. Now, I don't know if it's because they have, like, specific run-ins and they need to run their pattern right, and sometimes if they're too close, then they won't reset and fly it right. I'm not sure if, like, that's the issue, because I'm thinking of, like, I ran some A7s that were supposed to bomb some of these T-72s, and at times they would, or, like, A6s as well, but at times they would just fly over them and not drop anything. I had it happen with the B-52s once in the Libya scenario. Like, one time the B-52s worked, one time they didn't. And I'm not sure if it's a combination of altitude being an issue, because they'll just run an automatic pattern if you tell them to attack, but usually that automatic pattern is really low altitude. Like with A7s, they'll come in at like 150 feet or whatever, right? And do like a pop-up attack, which is fine, but there are times when you don't want to do that. And then sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Like, I wish things were a little bit more clear and worked just a little bit better. I also think that some of the means through which you issue orders to attack probably could use a little bit of a touch-up. Like, it works, but you often have to click through a menu. I need to look into the hotkeys and see if there's a way to use the hotkeys in such a way to take out, or to, like, use specific weapons. Because personally, I've just been going through and selecting the weapon I want them to use, or just issuing an attack order, and just hoping that they use, like, the correct weapon. But, you know, sometimes planes come with multiple weapons. Like, if you've got a plane with AGM-45 Shrikes, and you've got cluster bombs, and I want to take out air defense, normally I'm going to issue an order to use the Shrikes, just because I want to make sure that they actually use the Shrikes and not fly in and try to use the cluster bombs, because, like I said, I've had the AI do stupid shit before, and I just want to make sure they're not going to fly in and get themselves killed. I feel like all of this is stuff that's going to just take time, and once things are hashed out better, it also requires me to actually get in and look at all the hotkeys and see if there's a way to hotkey it, because, like, I wish that there was an option for me to order everybody to turn their sensors on, and to order them to turn all of their sensors on with one button. Theoretically, if the formation thing worked, then I could go through the like, drop-down menu and go to, like, formation and order them to all turn their sensors on. It's just, in my experience, they don't always listen to that. And that still is for only the formation. Like, there are times where I would like to be able to put the entire, like, all of the fleet, and then all of the air wings to have their sensors on, and likewise have all of them turn them off. like if I'm trying to hide.
Turn to court. Contact faded. Track.
And as far as I can tell, I don't think there's a way to do that with everybody. I'd have to go either by formation or by individual unit. As far as dealing with naval engagements, that seems like it's pretty good. I think that's probably the most fleshed out part of the game. Like, it's called Sea Power. It's a naval game, right? So you would expect the naval v naval engagements to be the most fleshed out, well developed, ready to go stuff, and all of that seems to work pretty well. You can either use your drop down menu to issue like a salvo order to fire like multiple weapons, or you can click on a target multiple times, or I think you can like hold control and like click a target or multiple targets or whatever. Like there are ways to issue multiple TAC commands, or to fire like multiple weapons in succession. So that works pretty well. I think that some of the weapons are somewhat limited. Like I kind of wish that there were more options to select what loadouts go on different aircraft or on different vessels. And I also think that there's a lot that isn't available. Like for example, if you look at the Royal Navy, they have 3 classes of destroyers, and I think that's it. I don't think they have any of their Air Force in either. There's also a lot of like what I assume is groundwork in the game. So for example, you can take troop ships, right? Like troop landing ships, but as far as I can tell, functionally they don't do anything. Likewise, you can bring like transport helicopters, but again, functionally, as far as I can tell, they don't do anything. Like, for example, I mentioned in my Iraq scenario, I brought the Iowa. The Iowa has Tomahawks. They launched all of their Tomahawks at the industry and like airfield and whatnot in southern Iraq. I would like to be able to go to like my fleet auxiliary and take like a helicopter and like sling load another set of missiles over to the Iowa and reload it. That would be cool. Or like I had my Marine Expeditionary ships. It would be really cool if I could, because you can launch transport helicopters from it. It would be really cool if I could launch my transport helicopters, fly them in, land them, and actually deploy stuff from them. Because there are ground units, like I mentioned, all of my little scenarios had like T-72s on the other side. There's also M60s that you can like place down in the mission editor, but as far as I can tell, there's no way for you to take like a landing ship and deploy like a lander to the coast and drop off M60s or drop off infantry. Like as far as I can tell, there's no infantry whatsoever. It would be neat if and to be fair, I think you could probably get some of this to work with mission triggers. Like what you probably could do is take the transport helicopters and create a mission trigger where if your helicopters make it to the Iraqi airfield and they're within like, let's say, a quarter of a mile of it and they're below like 100 feet in altitude, then they like capture it and it changes sides. Like you could probably do something like that and use mission triggers, but that requires a better understanding of the mission editor than what I have right now. And when it comes to the mission editor, I think I would like some sort of like random generator for missions. Like there's a decent chunk of missions that come in the game by default. You can go on the Steam Workshop and you can get other player-made missions. You could probably share the file between you and your friends if you made one. I mean, you could just put it on the workshop page, I think. But right now it's kind of limited in what you can do. The thing that's neat though is that they have like a whole world map, and even though like some of the terrain is somewhat rudimentary and like some of the buildings don't really exist or are just like flat imprints on the ground, I think eventually the map will be pretty cool. But because it's a worldwide map, I would be really interested to see if you could run like a worldwide like dynamic campaign, or at least like a regional dynamic campaign. The problem is I think you'd need some sort of like AI system to act as your opponent. That you would probably need lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of triggers, because I don't think the game would run well if things are spawned in everywhere. So it would have to like have it would have to have like a quantity of stuff that could be in one region that would only trigger their spawn when you're within like, I don't know, 100 miles or like 150 miles, and then deload everything else. So like you probably could make something like that work, but I think it would be very difficult with where the game is right now. But at the same time, I think this game has the potential to allow you to eventually do stuff like that and have it be really cool and really interesting. As it stands right now, though, in my experience, Sea Power is best suited to small engagements and small conflict, like battles within a broader conflict. You can fight a regional conflict, like a small regional conflict, but even then you're kind of just fighting a battle in it. Like, I feel like if you make like a proper American battle group and you're fighting into an adversary equivalent, you're pushing the limits of what the game likes to do. I think it's much more suited right now to smaller engagements. And personally, like, small engagements are cool, but I'm more interested in like larger theater-wide conflicts. I don't know, like I said, I'm gonna put up a video with my Iraq scenario. So if you're interested, you can skim through it. It is like probably 4.5 hours long, because I didn't start fast forwarding it until the end, when I was just kind of trying to see what the capabilities of some things were, and I was trying to like wrap things up. But yeah. Let me know below if you've played Sea Power, or if it's something that you're looking at. Like I said, I think it's got a ton of potential. I think it's a really cool game. I just think that it needs more time, and once it gets more added to it, and once it's able to run a little bit smoother, I think I'll be really happy with it. Like, there's still a bunch of scenarios that I want to try out with it. I still want to do some like proper sea battles, but my thing lately has been, I don't know, like running these naval invasion scenarios, I guess. I don't know. I think naval invasion, like creating a beachhead, is just really cool. Or like running strikes into a place. Very cool. But I think I have covered just about everything for now. I'll probably, as I try new things in the game and learn more of how things function, I'll probably have follow-ups to this. But as of right now, it's really cool. It's got a lot of potential. I'm really looking forward to see what they do with it. It's just something that I would probably wait on for now, especially if you're on the fence. I just don't think it's ready yet. But as per usual, get out there, kick ass, take names, and win your games.
Turn to course 255. Hell my. Turn to course 254. Hell my. Surface search on. Radar eye. Surface search on. Radar eye. Surface search on. Radar eye. MCON, secure all emitters. Radar eye. Surface search on. Radar eye. Roger, go to altitude 300. We've been hit. Weapon error, no track assigned. New ground contact detected. Contact faded. Track. Contact faded. Track VID. Track 7021. Engaging track 7034. Salvo fire. Engaging track 70. Engage track 7034. Salvo fire. Engage track 7034. Salvo fire. New ground contact detected. Multiple hostile ground contacts detected. New ground contact detected. Track 7035 is classified. Hostile building. New ground contact detected. Multiple ground surface contacts detected. Track 7038 is classified. Hostile building. New ground contact detected. Track engaging track 7038. Track 7027 is classified. Neutral merchant. Track 7020 is classified. Neutral merchant. Track 7039 is classified. Hostile building. Engaging track 7037. We're hit. Contact faded. Track. Greyhound away. Track 7037. Engage track 7037. Hit track 7038. Engage track. Contact faded. Track. Greyhound away. Track 7038. We've been hit. Engage track 7037. Salvo fire. Contact faded. Track. Engage track. Engaging track 703. Greyhound away. Track 7037. Engage track 7038. Salvo fire. Engaging track 7039. Salvo fire. Greyhound away. Track. Engage track 7039. Salvo fire. Hit track 703. Engage track 70. Greyhound away. Track 7037. Turn to course 273. Hell my. Engaging track 7039. Salvo fire. Engaging track 7039. Salvo fire. Engaging track 7039. Hit track 7037. Track 7024 is classified. Engage track 7037. Salvo Greyhound away. Track 7037. Hit track 7039. We're hit. Hit track 7037. Turn to course 257. Hell my. Hit track 7039. Engaging track 70. Greyhound away. Track 7002. Engage track 7001. Salvo fire. Hit track 7002. Engage track 7032. Hit track 7001. Engaging track 7031. Salvo fire. We've been hit. Engaging track 7001. Salvo fire. Hit track 7001. Engage track 7001. Salvo fire. Hit track 7031. Engage track 7001. Salvo fire. Engage track 7001. Salvo fire. Engage track Greyhound away. Track 7001. Engaging track 700. Hit track 701. We've been hit. Hit track 701. Hit track 7001. Hit track 7001. We've been hit. Engage track 700. Engage track 7. Engaging. Hit track 7. Greyhound away. Track 7. Engaging track 7002. Salvo fire. Engage track 7002. Salvo fire. Engage track 7002. Engage track 7002. Salvo fire. Hit track Turn to course. 0, 1, 1. Hell my. Turn to course. 0, 1, 4. Hell my. Hit track. 7, 0, 0, 2. We've been hit. Turn to course. 0, 1, 2. Hell my. Turn to course. 0. Turn to course. 0, 0, 4. Hell my.